제고 운주 슈슈버치 베겔로 니동 갸당 업중아니 치로 니도 니생을 르다오 구베체 닝인데 사덴 게덴 용조기 나다 직된 시대 대변 감솜 최기 개보 베기 라나메베 우티 진노르 콘스캠표 쳔부초네 망죄 람사 쇠제 거딘 깡데 멜로 투주랭아 코베 뒤jen기 숑제 제고 운주 슈기 다른기 제고 토라 군드엔 조르 갸거 저조 투미 쿠샵 알프레드 칸남 아르투르 초타 니오 저조 투미 쿠샵 와다 유주리 초 남니기 죄베 군드엔 셴카치 폐유 남버저 가수 슈로나.
Under the visionary leadership of and guidance from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tibetans were able to adopt a democratic system but on a foreign soil in exile after losing Tibet to China's military occupation. On September 2nd, 1960, the first elected representatives of the Tibetan Parliament in exile took their great oaths, and today we are celebrating the 65th anniversary of Tibetan Democracy Day. Please join me in welcoming our chief guest for the event, Mr. Alfred Gangnam Arthur, Member of Parliament, Indian National Congress, and Mr. Wada Yushiro, Member of House of Representatives, Japan.
제고 운주 슈규 통마를 행계 구신 토네 벤데 시경초다 군전조 야거를 저조 투미 구샵 알프레드 칸남 아르투르초 남니네 벼단 야거기 게다르 카잉수 땡조 난급 벼기 되가르 소번에 나를다치 야거다 벼기 게루 비규.
Let us now proceed with the official ceremony. I request Honorable Sikyong and the Chief Guest, Mr. Alfred Gangnam Arthur, to hoist the Tibetan and Indian national flags and rendition of Tibetan and Indian national anthem led by Tibetan Institute of Performing Arts.
tuchina. Tene tende chunje tu kundu namla soja desi dan chocha wa yola ngase pidem shuyu.
A ceremonial sweet rice and tea will be served.
Pyogi doga chokpa ne manzo sa shebiyu.
Artist of Tibetan Institute of Performing Arts will present the Tibetan Democracy Song.
Oh
두진낭 드네 밴드 시경초네 가샤기 송시능규
I request Honorable Sikyong to deliver the Kashak statement.
Dilo, Chinong Koskamgun Chumbuchok, Gui Kodenda Dunde, Geji Kyunla, Chamje, Los Sungzi Shushi Mekong, Danin Zenju, Pumi, Manzu, Tijan, Tang, Tukju Rengabe, Shungre Zegor, Shebeb Nangwe, Kundun So, Yagariki Trezo Tumi, Manipur Nimba, Kushap Alfred Kangam, Arthur Chodang, Shen Kundun So, Nihon, Trezo Tumi, Pudun, Jabjo Sobe Kusap, Trezo Tumi, Kushap Wade, Yuchira Choni, Ubegi, and Pumi Tizo Manzukawa, Sumgi Jezo Lesson number Tang, Shung the Shungo Mayembegi, Kusap number, and the Mima number, Geji Kyun Yubegi, Puri Tang, and it's Hakor to Pernal Yung and Puri Samanolia. Thomas Kashak ngone samdi testle shwe General Constamgon shumbucho kuna shundu ne mangzo lamlu la tume yobashin phena chizo lecture ji gongshinam gyashung ki gokyen nacho trede ngonjur jungthap machuna zenju to shabsor khomatado maon phokyan ringbur mikde 실지동급 영업중하고 나와시베 제20세군이 마수리 전주 표슝 직주 선주 제든 직동급 죽주 나와니베 제 숨니 도시된도 최숨 설계 미망기 구접남베 댄숭 담전 가조 방드 수대 건식감군 셔베 우지워 거순 지릅 수규 나게 투무체 부급 실루 초가드 제베 지두 연대문 거베 거꿀 나와 따르 실지동급자 죽주 나오고베 제2니 지들 한조 5년대 표던 된다 셋업당 전주 표미 대던 주베 직주기 망시 사된 죽신 나외 만주 두제시 표미 첩시기 로규낭 개간 체외 두제식 차유 롱어 죽주롱 랭아송외 링라 표미 전주 지조나 만주 람루기 페림라 칠때 로급 실지동급자 죽주네 지동고자 구주발 마음 벽이 쩌짐 시설 샤데 지들 현조당 진경 림신 렉주당 의당 산에 직주기 투접 보체 냠슈여베 다주당 로고르 랜덤 소전소 유 태계 망조당 예외 람루 락터 실지동고자 구주고치로 전주 표미 쩌짐 템베 세라난데 manju kawa sumda rawandeme desen sumdan chebe manju diksu chala sawan zejing chilo nyedon chiklor kalon triba manzo ki tegara wendem chede logyu ki tonyin dembe lamsu sarto nawandang chilo nyedon chukchilor chino konsyamgun chumbu chogi shepsi dan zingyongi kungan yongzo manzo ki wendem chebe goti number chidu zeba che komtab shi gone zenju pyomi chizosu 망주 람루 처주 yarge 총원이 konsyamgun chumbu chogi cher시당 고림 dembe to 땡네 샴도 구데 내진 제베 지도 코날레 총화시 계급 주라 숨잠랑 토템 수협에 전조 표미 지조를 sö나 갑주의 지조 현도 통주매베 망주 람루기 직주 찰라창원 데이터부식 죽생당 누댕아 락다르 제투바니 진호 konsyamgun chumbu chog 거진 야지 뭐 마거나 ngazo 전조 표미 지조랑 망주 람루 투드 규르조당 동네 제고베 내든 민용원식 하유 급주된베 저조 초두 응압에 저조 공된 치주나웨 팀지 제십 처신 초중라 가샤군의 저림기 전에 망다지 결주 철신기 오표에낭 갑대 지속이 섬주당 저림기 강에 samshi mayimbar tudun donglen da maung pubel mikbe tene kaji kuyo kong chedim tunjen tanggo nang yawa kunten rimjun ne kyang rangche suyube kuanam shekyong jeju shedang nangse nibar kalop lamdun chegyu chayen toba kashagi chambutar kyarjo tembeb sinang tene nam shen nam rangsor layube maungbar changme tukshib nawe rewayu kap chubdunbe chidul henzogi chozo gebar chodu gebar Kashak shungde seshedo chadim nang nangse yutim chisung shugu kechikor nyendun shube nang chino konstamgo chimbu chodang pemi geshi tsam longo tukju renga kong gyabe druksum na zenju du pebne tadepar neyu gyagab kadang zenju pemi chizo nigar pegyur chimbu chinyo badan tuzungsu didagi timdigi chagendang siju lakdar checho lang juwa hajang chimbu chinyo tab ngansu chadim tenzen chukpe lamden chishin yutimgi nangden kodo yobe tone pemi dikzugi chego yonsoba yutimda tumba sogoba dang yangoysu timdi kala tudun gyurchu ki timdun dang pukberigi tablam lalen targyu kaza kudu cha yu che perim gyabjong dang timdun nebab timdigi tiwa donglen chego che reju shu yola 조조 초두 구벌 표미 딕수기 문제 딕시 겨르주 팀자르 조조수 표월 심주레 천주 속중 고샤 신도배 초년 조조 초두인들 겨주 템베투에 레바 슈신여 가샤가 뭐네 달로게와 계획 고든 투진기 고급 담진시에대 벽이 초조 탱종업 삽경한 공소당 강종 함이 투모네 진호 건스장군 중부 초라 땡슈 담부 gewe kodung mushi jagor högi chugyu khag uti lachen tang kusap pemi dikzu gi mazu kawasum gi jeju namba chagogo denchig du zomto yagar u dang ngade khag kusap nönjen gi ju jamlin yudukhane pebe kundön dang gyujewa gyata tume gewe kodung da tumbe jamje lohor unzu gi jerimla nyamshu nawe nechu nam sanjur gyulam niga churu jamgi gyangsing dang ngopop longyen tang sheling somi na cho yu chino konsyamgon shimbu chog jetin jesuiran tang gongshel megu gyabjor chiyu kungi tonamdu ngondap tang högi chepsigi gene kor lenglong shukchi cheptuba shungyu kashaki gewe kodön tujene sung lokor chigrin geji kyön jamze lo sungsi shugyur pömidang pödön gyabjowa nambe 소수 내윈의 고주대 답제기 지소 카르뇽살 진호 콘스탄군 중부 쪽 잠재 땡주의 개베 쟁겐 시 공시 남 라랑산의 고도 랭귀 약하지 베나용의 벽이 슈버신 산의 소설 남주대의 랭귀 내왕 배신발 나주 슈기당 다동 랭귀 좀급 버리소인 녀그 유천음 개외 고등기 흉대 자직내 파블레 남 의고된 고리 소중의 레구 제초 신혼 예동 이상한 다오드베 제2인 신혼 konstangun chumbu chogi gewan kutem yundu pebgyuinbe sheshe katin kyangbar högi chozo teng chongapar sokshu chugyu rimegi uti lachena madang sokcharwa chindine nin terandu 신혼 konstangun chumbu chogi 세베 송진 림부제 공동 차선의 소설과 용의 지명이 잡절 수주 shedan 군주 윤투 지들 자규네 벽유 낭den기 조조기 제고신인다 자나 머숑기 첩시 고호 코너미네 계획 고튼 림제 펩조 대 중에 나초 숑지 제단 제신벌 각과 타직도 자규마세 두 남양 원의 제답 매제 믹스의 투지셰슈 조주 던전 숨전시 논조당 진짜 두배체 신이 수리엔 조조 던전 시젠 템베 나와나 계획 양식 문진기 제거 갱구를 제보다 문진 제조 규르메 도지 책이 nemba 젬버 페베 텐주의 개개 바르제 타다 랑신도 시신 제친 개베 발 경례기 야르담나 소설과 용당 제주 꾸인기 태좀 nem누르 메베 지구를 냠내 슈주시 야르담 제 예베 야나 공전 슝기 계획 양식 문진 야나네 제십당 serbu chugdu 중앙의 촉진 세계 접시기 함시 막내 개유 야나 공전 슝게 별로 전주 제마타바네 배규 낭된 잠의 동에 미유송대 최제 띠네 고바 죽동 하 자도르다 자주남 센시기 깨서 포바 마세 페미사야 직당 붐니하 되미 결람 땅여바당 등상 페미설 소수 모다 도르네 중앙미리기 독시 중국바당 배규 낭된 중국전도 유럽 세네 공박하기 자주인기 장제 천진당 권배 카르완다 용법 사마 개숑기 전조 권배 진경 직조나 마쇼 초메다 레제 지데미나 고딕 자주설 종 각돔다 낭쇼르 토삼 곰숨 제베 톡담 까네 마르베 따주 롭티 캐나게신남 첩시기 락처 꼬주소 야 공전 슌을 하베 텐더식 다버 배규 낭den기 로규난 종용 매베 로규단 상주 침루 간지 토네강 야 공전기 중앙 세와 델 예참 게데 계획 양식 문제 토 촉전주베 어법 때네 용셰다 매 야 공전 슌기 롱 숨주 공 군시 변진 텐진 견든 27회 편조 배상부초 공로 축대 센티기 다버 가르손 참여도 교류받당 servum tukdun sewe chapdun gyune kosha chebe pension gensen nobu kongjen tangi lew chube ngakjen suede labdo chiri jindu chubadang pyurinam jendegi jegadang shu nyendu chishimbe kuryu dedabinang tender pende chube 고급식 용 미시베 양시 충배 고바 매버 gyuryu ngansu seju tuba shini 진흥 관습장 겸군 군전 주시버 정부초 구제 윤린 수주 예대인마당 무투 제쿠르 시토 독준 제규마세 지시 버든 된다 마세와 대세도 망호 예외 양식강 라완 룸버 총규 가세 펩신 여라 라완 룸버네 정행기 예외 양식 강의 수십 원진당 지등기 genkur 남 간데 포장 이시 계제 랭규인지 인신 계제 원된 gen진남베 högü nangden 추규하게 우리 라제나바당 개왕 군전 나림다 르단 딥신도베 담된 최송카라 급드 람든 슈데 양주 제주 문지 무수신 자주인라 군전 나림네 간제만남 경외 야담 이르메 중에 빼 자나 군전 슝게 함시 녜유 준주남 계지낭당 낭베 지소 지당 högü 난den기 전주베 트 응을렌토베 시된 가야메바 자규 약지인 계획 고등이 계급당 슝기 우티 레술당 내 미너망보 시기 고부초기 총가르트제는 삼슈피와 마세 인유당 프랑스 저먼 네덜란드 리투아니아 에스토니아 아이슬란드 지역 도미 토당기 구접 팀원의 계획 양식의 대회 내던라 신의 태주 미쇼베 냠제기 시주 작담 배여바당 신의 든베체 이십드니 신의 화장고 정부 초당 로망 델람 땡섭여베 계급대 책지든 계급지 신진 구십 피터 파월 초라 초 라다소 공서초 제결 총원이 로주기 레젠 서버시 차유 가샤키 베미 지조당 högü nangdengi 전주바 낭베 지소 계급카 제네 계획 양식이 내도토 팀이당 제주 작담 선대 녀도소 덴베 심바는 두릅기 야대익 제추도 송열 제심바당 다도 모두 라완룸베나 뉘den기 갑절 초다 배준 수주인베 제도 참에 냠룹 남경여베 벽의 수신유 망설람룹니 표된 탑주기 shum십 미도베 톱슈인라 마원버 시제 한접급 시슈 빈다솔 비규 렉제 자 제슈장디 가샤그 묘직도 진념 장된 셰버디양 망설람룹기 팀루 당된당 시주 진념을 때는 원주 제투바당 미만남 접시당 지속기 제거를 냠쇼기 권에 누바냠봉 그 라왕 체도 도다 디그토네 콤바 듬보체 렌드윈 창기유베 아주 투몽 밀람 응원도 교르버 3회 로톱 게로 다들 신호 건설장군 군대 주시버 전부처 고제 땡징 제칭 시대벌 윤경기 문누나 시제 표밀 한좀더 라와 만수 쪼가를 강요 르두베 멀람제 Kashak. I'm sorry, this is rather longish, but I have to read my English statement as well. I extend a very hearty welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Alfred, a member of the Indian National Congress from Manipur, who is here in Dharamsala for the first time. A very warm welcome. Mr. Wade Yuchuri, who is representing the Japanese Parliamentary Group for Tibet in the Japanese Parliament. A very warm welcome to you. I know you all had a very tough travel coming up to Dharamsala in this rainy weather. Even today we are wondering whether His Holiness will be able to arrive here on time. If not, there will be a change in His Holiness arrival program here as well. And today we also have almost all the board members of the International Campaign for Tibet here with us, except for Richard Gere and Gere Smith, who could not be here. Then we also have 5 Indian journalists from 5 Indian states who are sitting with her. Here we also have some Tibet supporters, Mr. Krimeji and his colleagues from the core group for Tibetan cause. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you and to all the Tibetan leaders who are on the dais, all the civil servants and all the general public all around the world. I extend a very warm welcome from the side of the Cabinet of the Central Tibetan Administration on the 65th anniversary of the Tibetan celebration of the Tibetan Democracy Day. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, from a very young age, held a profound commitment to democratic principles. Although his efforts at social reforms in Tibet could not materialize due to systematic obstructions by the government of People's Republic of China, His Holiness established the administration of the Tibetan government in exile on 29th April 1959 in Mussoorie, soon upon his arrival in India. On 3rd February 1960, representatives of the clergy and laity from Tibet's 3 traditional provinces voluntarily and in unity took the great oath, Nage Tumuche, solemnly pledging to fulfill His Holiness' counsel under his leadership. His Holiness then advised for the creation of an elected body comprising of representatives from the 3 traditional provinces and major schools of Tibetan Buddhism. Accordingly, on 2nd September 1960, the first commission of Tibetan People's Deputies was sworn in, laying the foundation for an administration dedicated to resolving the Tibetan struggle and ensuring the welfare of Tibetan people in exile. Thus, the Tibetan Democracy Day marks a pivotal moment in the political history of the Tibetan people. Reflecting on the evolution of the democratic system within the Tibetan society in exile over the past 65 years, from 1960 to 1990, gradual reforms were made to the Commission of Tibetan People's Deputies, later renamed the Assembly of Tibetan People's Deputies, and the administration, based primarily on the Constitution for Future Tibet. A system based on democracy was initiated, characterized by broad participation from representatives of both the central and regional Tibetan administrations in the semi-annual and annually held general meetings. In 1991, the Charter of Tibetans in Exiles was promulgated, establishing a complete democratic framework encompassing the 3 organs of democracy and the 3 autonomous bodies. Under the directive of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, necessary provisions were made in the Charter that led to the historic direct election of the Kalan Triba by the Tibetan people in 2001. In 2011, His Holiness devolved all his political and administrative authority to the democratically elected leadership. Through these 4 phases the democratic system in the Tibetan society in exile was consolidated and strengthened, owing solely to the blessings of His Holiness' visionary leadership and his systematic top-down encouragement. The successful establishment and implementation of a comprehensive democratic administration within the Tibetan community in exile, dispersed across some 30 different countries, remain unparalleled among other exile communities. It's an undeniable fact that this achievement has been made possible entirely through the benevolent leadership of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. At the same time, the exiled Tibetan community requires timely reforms to its democratic system, while numerous challenges remain to be addressed. The Kashak submitted a draft proposal of charter amendments to the Rules and Regulations Review Committee constituted in accordance with the resolution of the 5th session of the 17th Tibetan Parliament in exile. The proposal not only reflected the prevailing opinion of the Tibetan people and the crisis thereof, but also proposed amendments aimed at addressing challenges arising from evolving circumstances while ensuring long-term sustainability. The proposal included amendments to Article 1 of Charter regarding the assumption of inherent authority by the successive Dalai Lamas, as well as to its second subsection concerning the provision of advice and guidance. While the proposed changes to this article have been amended, other essential points remain to be addressed. As such, it's hoped that it will receive careful review by all in the future. The Kashak, in its official statement at the 8th session of the Tibetan Parliament, highlighting the significance of complying with laws of the host country as enshrined in the Charter, stated that in the 65 years since the arrival of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and some 80,000 Tibetans in exile to India, Nepal and Bhutan, both the host countries and the Tibetan exile community have undergone profound transformations. Legal frameworks and policy implementation mechanisms have also evolved concurrently. As such, all the functions of the Central Tibetan Administration, as mandated by Article 6 of the Tibetan Charter, must comply with the laws of the host country with a thorough understanding of the same. To ensure legal compliance and long-term sustainability, timely regulatory amendments are imperative. The statement further elaborated on the background of these developments, the prevailing legal situation, regulatory questions, and existing challenges. Similarly, a draft bill to amend the CTA's rules of budget was presented at the 9th session of the Parliament, and a review committee was subsequently constituted. It's hoped that the review and ratification of this bill will take place in the upcoming Parliament session. Aligning with the 90th birthday celebration of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Kashak convened the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference and offered long life prayers to His Holiness on behalf of all the deities and the people of the land of snow. The official birthday ceremony brought together revered heads and emissaries of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, dignitaries from the 3 democratic organs of the CDA, distinguished guests from around the world, including ministers and representatives from central and state government of India, and hundreds of artists who participated in the birthday festivities, during which the Year of Compassion was officially launched. The celebration was covered by 216 media outlets, and documentaries and analytical articles widely acknowledged His Holiness' noble contributions and brought to view the global reverence and support for his leadership and aspirations. It further facilitated a broader discourse on the significance of Tibet's political situation. The Central Tibetan Administration designated the period from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's 90th birthday on 6 July 2025 to 5th July 2026 as the Year of Compassion to be observed globally. The Kashak appeals to the Tibetan people and Tibet supporters to launch awareness campaigns in their respective and surrounding localities on His Holiness' 4 principal commitments, emanating from his doctrine of compassion. At the same time, we commend the diverse and thoughtful initiatives that are already underway in various localities, and any requirements for resources such as images for such initiatives can be downloaded through the CDA's official Khoteng 90th birthday celebration website or by contacting the Khoteng Organizing Committee. On 2nd July 2025, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, with infinite compassion, affirmed the continuation of the institution of the Dalai Lama. On the same day, the eminent heads and masters of all Tibetan Buddhist traditions present at the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference, along with all other participants, unanimously adopted a 3-point resolution of heartfelt gratitude to His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama. The resolution stated that all the participants of the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference unanimously endorsed His Holiness the Dalai Lama's sacred statement. It affirmed that the process of recognizing the reincarnation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama is rooted in the unique and sacred traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, and condemned any attempts by People's Republic of China to politicize the religious practice while firmly rejecting all forms of extreme external interference. On 4th July, an additional 4-point resolution was adopted, which stated that with the definitive establishment of the responsibility and authority for the process of recognizing reincarnations of His Holiness the Dalai Lamas, all obstacles to the Buddha Dharma and the sentient beings will naturally be pacified. All the participants and their followers solemnly pledged that with unwavering faith to commit to ensuring the continuation of this sacred legacy for eons. Thus, the PRC government's deceptive propaganda regarding the search for His Holiness reincarnation within China, the usage of so-called golden urn lottery, or the requirement of central government's approval have been dismantled from the very foundation. The PRC's government, following its invasion of Tibet, undertook a systematic campaign to eradicate Tibetan Buddhism, destroying over 6,000 monastic institutions, forcibly disrobing monks and nuns, and killing an estimated 1.2 million Tibetans. Today, Tibetans are coerced into abandoning their identity in order to forge a so-called consciousness of the Chinese national. With the state-mandated Sinicization of Tibetan Buddhism, restrictive quotas are imposed on the number of monks and nuns in the monasteries, while ownership and income of the monasteries are seized. Chinese Communist Party members, PRC government officials, and public security personnel are appointed to manage administration of the monasteries, and movement of monks and nuns are severely restricted. They are further barred from pursuing their studies and practice of the Tibetan Buddhism, and instead are subjected to indoctrination in communist ideologies. Religious figures such as abbots, lamas, and geshes are forcibly used as political tools. In the history of Tibetan Buddhism, no force has ever caused greater threat to the Buddha Dharma than the PRC's communist government. On the basis of history, morality, or any system of law, the PRC's authorities have no legitimate right whatsoever to grant approval to the reincarnations of His Holiness while transgressing international borders. 30 years ago, Beijing forcibly abducted the 11th Panchen Lama, Jejun Tenzin Gendun Yishichle Puzo Pesangbo, at the tender age of 6. To this day, his well-being and whereabouts remain unknown. The PRC's government installed Gyaltsen Norbu through a staged ceremony using the so-called Golden Urn lottery and has since used him as a mouthpiece for state propaganda. Tibetans are coerced to seek his audience and attend his teachings. In such an environment where there cannot be genuine opportunity to serve the Buddha Dharma, the very purpose of reincarnation is defeated. One thing we can state with absolute clarity is that His Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama, will undoubtedly live a long life and continue his noble endeavor in fulfilling his 4 principal commitments. His Holiness has explicitly stated that until a meaningful resolution to the Sino-Tibet conflict is achieved, the reincarnation of the Dalai Lamas will be born in a free country. The responsibility of searching, recognizing, and enthroning the reincarnation of His Holiness shall be undertaken by the Gandhe Phorang Trust. The leadership of the Trust, in consultation with the revered heads of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, and the oath-bound Dharma protectors, will search and recognize, in accordance with established tradition of recognizing reincarnations, with the unfailing fulfillment of the sacred commitment to lead the Tibetan people by the successive reincarnations of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, any deceptive fabrications propagated by the PRC government is rendered baseless before the international Buddhist community, followers of the Tibetan Buddhism, as well as the international community. On His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, numerous former and present heads of government and dignitaries extended their felicitations. Furthermore, human rights ambassadors of United Kingdom, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Lithuania, Estonia, and Iceland issued a joint statement in honor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 14th, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, reiterating the right to freedom and of religion or belief and the right to choose religious leaders free from state interference. On 27th July, His Excellency Peter Pavel, the Honorable President of the Czech Republic, a nation with which His Holiness shares long-standing ties, met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama in a historic visit to Ladakh. The Kashak is in the process of compiling supporting documentation of resolutions, declarations, and appeals issued by the Tibetan community, followers of the Tibetan Buddhism, broader Buddhist community, and nations pertaining to the reincarnation of His Holiness. We will continue in our sincere efforts to seek international support from the free nations on the issue of reincarnation and further urge for the collective effort of all. The democratic principles remain an indomitable force in the Tibetan freedom struggle and stands as the most precious gift to Tibetans in Tibet upon our reunion. The Kashak's vision for equitable justice can also be realized through a just legal framework and equitable policies of a democratic system. We hope for the collective efforts of the Tibetan populace through their active political and social participation and to advance in unity towards freedom in Tibet. Let's summon our shared resolve to bring our collective aspirations into reality. Finally, I fervently pray for the long life of His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet and for the perpetual continuation of his meritorious deeds. May the melody of freedom and democracy swiftly ring in as the Tibetans in Tibet and in exile reunite. Thank you, the Kashak. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the hereditary of the kings in the Himalayan region who have come from Ladakh to also experts from Nepal and Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh area from the Himalayan region who have come here to participate at a conference organized by the Tibetan Institute of Tibet Policy Institute. And from Nepal, we also have Mr. Vijayakant Karna, a former ambassador to Denmark. We also have representatives from Bhutan. Please extend a hearty welcome to all the participants at this conference. Thank you very much.
Tene geji pöden legü kanki geji dedü tünzo ki tsokso jamku Krishna Jansen chone songshe nangyu.
I request Christina Janssen, Chair of the International Coordination Council of all International Campaign for Tibet offices, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Thank you all. Honorable Supreme Court Justice Commissioner, Honorable Speaker of the Parliament, Honorable Sikyong, and esteemed members of Parliament, representatives of the Central Tibetan Administration, distinguished guests, and above all, dear Tibetan friends, Tashi Delek. It is an honor and a joy to be here with you today on Tibetan Democracy Day, a day that celebrates both history and hope. ICT was set up to fulfill the vision of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to advocate for Tibetans' human rights and self-determination and support the Central Tibetan Administration. In fact, ICT is here with a 30 people strong delegation sitting behind me, and we are all delighted and honored to be with you. So the boards and senior members, senior leadership of the three ICT offices are here to understand the situation better and to formulate our action plan for the future that can best serve His Holiness and the Tibetan people. My personal connection to Tibet goes back 50 years. I met Tibetans for the first time in India, actually in Manali. Then in 1980, I was a student of sinology, had been studying in Peking, and after my studies, I traveled to Tibet. During my travels, one day, a proud Tibetan man who appeared to not speak any Chinese came down and handed me a letter to give to His Holiness. This man was very impressive, and this was in the Far East. And later I went to meet His Holiness and I handed over the letter and the many other messages that I received from people. It was a very moving moment in my life. I never saw the man again, He disappeared like so many Tibetans have disappeared. But his courage and his faith and his trust in the Dalai Lama, those have stayed with me all my life. And this year carries a very special blessing as we celebrate the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We also join you in the world with celebrations of His Holiness and the birthday, and we carry with us the warm greetings of thousands of ICT members from Europe, from North America, and from beyond, from many, many countries in the world. For Tibetans, and for all of us who cherish his wisdom, this is not only an auspicious occasion, it is also a reminder of the extraordinary vision that has guided your democratic journey in exile. When I think of democracy, I remember 1989. I was a young diplomat posted in Beijing, and I witnessed with my own eyes the hopes and courage of young people on Tiananmen Square, asking for freedom, asking for dignity. And I saw with deep sorrow how that hope was crushed, in 2 days. That experience has never left me, and it showed me that freedom is more precious than anything and more fragile than we sometimes realize. Democracy is not easy. It requires patience, courage, and humility. Mistakes will be made. That is part of the journey. But His Holiness has given you a framework that is both deeply Tibetan and universally human, a democracy rooted in compassion. So today, we know that democracy cannot be taken for granted. If we look around us, what's happening in the world, there are very strange things happening where democracy is under high, high pressure. So each generation must renew it. Each society must defend it. And so I encourage you, especially the younger Tibetans, to keep building, keep learning, and keep striving. Thank you.
Thank you. Tene kundren zo gyagar chozo tumi kushab Alfred Kangnam Arthur Chone Sungshenangyu.
May I now request Chief Guest Mr. Alfred Kangnam Arthur, Member of Parliament, Indian National Congress, to address the gathering.
My colleague, Honorable MP from Japan, Owada Ichiro, Chief Justice, Commissioner of the Tibetan Supreme Justice, Madam Yeshi Dolma, Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Mr. Khenpo Sonam Tenphel, President of the CTA, Mr. Sikyong Penpa Sering, Honorable dignitaries of the CTA, friends of the Central Tibetan Administration, dignitaries and friends of the International Campaign for Tibet, friends from India, especially citizens of Free Tibet. I am grateful that someone who has come from one of the neglected parts of our nation, that is the northeastern part, has been invited to be part of this celebration to mark the 65th year of the Tibetan Democracy Day. So also the 98th year, a year that has been declared as the year of compassion of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. The world over, dignitaries as well as citizens, there is no civilization or government which has not heard of the Tibetan movement through the vision and hope and work that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has actually put in. Today, I would also wish to express that the Union of India, the government, since the time of the first government under Pandit Nehru, right till the present-day government, has taken the courage and given the movement of the Tibetans strength and impetus that Our Holiness, the Dalai Lama, has the space, the momentum, the energy, the courage, the strength to propagate the Tibetan movement across the globe. Today, the sadness at the same time is that has the Tibetan movement been brought down to just a nominal movement? Looking at the life that Our Holiness, the Dalai Lama, has lived all his life, what he has exuded, what he has shown, especially to Tibetans living across the world, that a compassionate life, a life of truth, a life of courage, a life of inclusiveness, a life of understanding, a life of forbearing the torch of the future generations to come. Has this been actually trickled down? Has it been successful to be ingrained into the future generations of Tibetans to come? If it has been successful, I would believe that we would today have millions of Tibetans across the globe promoting what the Tibetan movement is all about. We all know the world over what China is about. I, as a member of Parliament in India, since there are diplomatic relations, cannot speak much of this on such an important day for Tibet. But as a human being, and as a person who lives under a roof that is free, an India that allows each parliamentarian, each head of an executive, or any citizen across the length and breadth of this nation to be free, to live free. I am sure my nation and nations across the globe, be it the developed West, be it third world countries, be it our neighbors, would all wish for a Tibet that would be free from all encumbrances, free from all sort of hostilities, and would embrace and would live a life that I am living today, free. Is that freedom elusive for the Tibetans, for our lives and generations to come? I think the responsibility that Our Holiness, the Dalai Lama, has given to all Tibetans and to all citizens alike from all democracies and all nations across the globe is to propagate what God has given us, to be free, a world that was given to us free. We have today been, brought under clutches, in shackles, from across governments, which prophecy is saying that it is for the benefit of citizens across the world. But I feel that we are getting more and more and more into right-wing dictatorism. This has to stop. And for this, what better way than to propagate an eminent personality as His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. The life he has lived, the best thing that we, the future generations to come, especially my friends, my brothers and sisters of the Tibetan lineage, the life that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has lived, live that life across the world wherever you are. Be free, be courageous. Understand that his core has been inclusiveness. He has never said that he would segregate the Chinese, he would segregate the rest of the world and make an inclusive or exclusive world just for Tibetans. He has said the world is for all to live. Today, on this celebration of this 65th Democracy Day for the Tibetans, and so also the 98th birthday year of Our Holiness the Dalai Lama, which has been declared a year of compassion, I wish to contribute by saying that whichever way we are and wherever we are today, we need to live up to the expectations of Our Holiness the Dalai Lama And the day we all understand that what he has been trying to say to us and teach us by all of what he has lived today, the day we start actually living how he has lived, I am sure that day would not be very far when we would see a free, a resurgent, and a strong Tibet. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Tene kundren zo niwon trezo tumi kushab wada yuchiro chone sungshe nangyu.
May I now request Chief Guest Mr. Wada Yuichiro, Member of House of Representatives, Japan, to address the gathering.
Minasan, konnichiwa. Tashite. 本日の第65回チベット民主化のこの記念式典、またダライ・ラマ法王の90歳をお祝いするこの式典を心よりお喜び申し上げます。
So today, konnichiwa and tashite, and first of all, I would like to pay my great respect to His Holiness and congratulate on his 90th birthday, and to all the Tibetans for this 65th anniversary of the Tibetan Democracy Day.
私は日本の国会のチベット友好議員連盟を代表して日本より参りました日本国衆議院議員の和田雄一郎でございます。
I am Yuichiro Wada, a member of Japanese Parliament and also a member of All Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet. So today I came here representing the All Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet.
尊敬してやまないダライ・ラマ法王の90歳をお祝いすることを兼ねたこの式典に参列させていただきましたことは、私個人にとりましても大変な光栄であり喜びであります。この機会をいただきましたことに深く心から感謝を申し上げます。
It is my great pleasure and honor to be invited and be among with you to celebrate His Holiness the 90th birthday and to participate in Democracy Day, and I wholeheartedly thank the organizer for inviting me here on this Democracy Day.
7月2日にダライ・ラマ法王は輪廻転生が続くことを、そしてそれはチベット人と法王朝が決めるものであって他の誰にもできないことを明言されました。
So on July 2nd, His Holiness Dalai Lama has made it very clear that his reincarnation would continue, and he has also made it very clear that there is the selection or recognition of His Holiness in reincarnation would be made by his office, the Ganden Fodang, and nobody else will can interfere in this His Holiness reincarnation process.
この法王のお言葉と平和や自由を求めるチベットの皆さんのこの方向性に対して私たちは全面的に支持をいたします。
So we greatly appreciate the effort of His Holiness the Dalai Lama for promoting the world peace, and we, the Japan Parliamentary Support Groups, we are wholeheartedly supporting His Holiness' effort in making this world a better place to live in for all the sentient beings.
それでは私どものチベット友好議員連盟の会長であります山谷恵理子会長からメッセージを預かっておりますので、代わりに読ませていただきます。
I have come with a message from Madam Yamatani Eriko, who is the chairperson of the All Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet. So I'm going to read her message before you all.
今から代読します。本日のダライ・ラマ法王をはじめ、ペンパツェリン首相、亡命政権と世界中のチベットの皆さんに、本日のこのチベット民主化記念日の公式式典の開催されますことを心より私どもはお喜びを申し上げます。
Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet sincerely congratulate His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Sichong Pempa Tsering, and the Central Tibetan Administration and the Tibetans around the world on this auspicious day of Tibetan Democracy Day. Today we believe that many supporters and friends from around the world have gathered to celebrate Democracy Day together with one heart.
日本は仏教国であり、チベットの宗教や文化への共感、敬愛の心が強いものがあります。私は超党派日本チベット国会議員連盟会長を務めており、この議員連盟は世界最大規模の議員連盟です。
Japan is a Buddhist country, and we have a strong sense of empathy and respect for Tibetan religion and culture. I serve as a chairperson of the bipartisan Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet, which is the largest parliamentarian group of its kind in the world.
本年6月には、東京でチベットに関する世界国会議員会議を日本の国会の議員会館で開催しました。この世界会議は、これまでリトアニア、ラトビア、イタリア、イギリス、カナダなどで開かれ、今回は9回目となる日本での参加国は29カ国、参加者は各国国会議員のほかに、研究者、ジャーナリスト、NGO 関係者など142名と、いずれも過去最大規模となりました。
So in the month of June this year, we hosted the World Parliamentary Convention on Tibet at the National Diet Building in Tokyo. This global conference has previously been held in countries such as India, Lithuania, USA, United Kingdom, Italy, Latvia, and Canada. The 9th convention in Japan saw the participation of 29 countries with 142 attendees, including parliamentarians, researchers, journalists, and NGO representatives, the largest scale to date.
チベット亡命政府のペンパツェリン主席大臣も会議の中で、現在チベットが置かれている状況とその深刻さを訴えられました。日本での会議では、チベット人がチベット人として生きる権利を守るための東京宣言と行動計画、そしてダライ・ラマ法皇14世の90歳の誕生日にその遺産を祝福する決議を採択しました。
Pempa Tsering, the Prime Minister of the Tibetan government in exile, also addressed the conference, highlighting the current situation in Tibet and its severity. At the conference in Japan, the Tokyo Declaration and Action Plan to protect the rights of the Tibetan to live as a Tibetans, as well as resolution to celebrate the 90th birthday of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and honor his legacy were adopted.
行動計画では、各国議会の法整備や政府の支援制度、国連での取り組みなど、61項目の提案が列記されました。世界の国会議員会議の大きな成果です。チベット問題、中国の内政問題ではなく国際問題です。チベットの現状を調査できるよう国際連携を強め、チベット人がチベット人として生きる権利を守りたい、理解を含め力を尽くし、心を合わせ、具体的行動につなげていけるよう努めていきたいと考えています。
The action plan listed 61 proposals, including legal reforms in national parliamentarians and government support systems and effort at the United Nations. This is a significant achievement of the World Parliamentarian Conference. The Tibet issue is not an internal matter of China, but an international issue. We aim to strengthen the international cooperation to investigate the current situation in Tibet and protect the right of the Tibetans to live as Tibetans. We will strive to deepen understanding, exert our utmost effort, unite our hearts, and translate these efforts into concrete actions.
プレギャロ、チベット語でビクトリー・トゥ・チベット。チベット人はチベット人として生きる権利があります。言語、宗教は民族の命そのものであり、人類の宝です。チベットが祝福され続けますように。
Pögyalo in Tibetan means victory to Tibet. So here I say Pögyalo once again. and Tibetans have the right to live as Tibetans. Language and religion are life of the people and treasure of humanity. May His Holiness the Dalai Lama live a long and healthy life, and Tibet continue to be a blessed.
ただいまのは、チベット国会議員連盟の会長である参議院議員山谷恵理子会長のメッセージでございました。
So this is a message from Senator Eriko Yamatani, chairperson of the Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet.
日本チベット友好議員連盟は、チベットの平和、正義、自由、その回復に全力を尽くしてまいります。
We, the Japan Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet, will continue to work on the peace, justice, and freedom for the Tibetan people.
尊敬してやまないダライ・ラマ14世法王の健康と平和、非暴力のメッセージが世界に広がることをお祈りし、スピーチを終わります。
We pray for the long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama and a very healthy life, and may his message for peace and non-violence, which is very much appreciated around the world, may prosper and spread throughout the world to make this world a better place to live in for all the people here. And with this, I end my humble speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dene pende pemema chidu chozu chone pemema chidu lenzo ki sungshe nangyu.
I request Honorable Speaker to deliver the statement of Tibetan Parliament in exile.
Roal Lado Jibin Gansho Sunda Manjiba Jiden Hide Deben Consum Church Jarbo Pemion Jelana Mebe Uti Shinon Kon Shonga Chimuchola Gosung Gisha Hundu Pei Tone Terin Pemi Mozo Unye de Melo Tutu Yangan Kurvi Zegi to Pepe Shoyi Gendig Den Nambatan Pemi Dinzu Chinzeto Lezur Namba Terin Denjito Jaga Tozo Timi Kushop Alfred Kanam Utter Chotan Nyon Tozo Timi Kushop Warder Yukiro Cho Yan Kunden Ton Monzo Lotu Namba Jela Pemi Machine Lenzo Ki Tsop Shine Tomar Some Ditashi de Les Shuai Pemi Monzo Unye Teri Melo Tujo Yanga Ribon Kurvi Tijan Chapra Jendang Pejlana Mebe Uti Shinor Gonza Shongun Chimocho Delor Gondo Gojula Pepe Koten Don Del Shondo Tevi Dani Jitenji Shendo Shedang Gozo Konjemba Yonjin Gambo Kongi Kadin Jesu Tenjin Pedo Pemi Che Monzi Lomlu Yontabahi Sore Nawara Pe Yiji Nisu Nebi Pemi Yonji Tsop Hide Gosum Kisha Don Che Kadin Lamedu Che Hujuin Monzi Rilu Ne Zenyam Don Urshu Pomo Riri Sun Chomenji Ewa Mebar Shene Timola Tawin Ranyam Jishizo Hila Ngenzi Huye Zamli no Jako Mobi Monzi Shurinji Loji no Mozo Ji Leton Mobo Shake Shun Ye Chang Pemi Mozo Ne Shinoro Konsa Shongan Chamo Choke Lapjinji Gongi Dang Tu Tewa Chembe Pemi Namla Rinton Travi Mozi Lamlu Yon Tapan Dini Sore Nawa Hichaye Tayon Shilo Titon Goja Yeju Hegolor Jana Marbi Puma Ke Pela Trapi Zendri Shengo Tsuhi Peji Chopsi Nedan Zada Nyentron Tiendo Churbatang Konsa Shongan Chamoncho Kop Tedi Gondron Chudule Sen Mejang Shilo Titon Goja Ngachun Dawa Chuji Bitse Chudinye Peji Chusi Lu Ninje Tongan Dakri Yege Shonhi Dental Pemi Lomlula Titi Jurjin Zeche Shilo Titon Goja Ngachun Ngayi Loro Leche Lekondang Shilo Titon Goja Chuchu Redu Ngachun Ngadu Loro Memo Jimmy Rich Dedu Hiche Husa Chehi Lekonche Sartu Che Pechi Shizu Yarje Detop Nze Yechang Jamara Yonge Tapi Mapungi Niregi Duzu Chechere Che Thar Shilo Chitong Goja, Ngaju Ngago, Dawa Sumbi, Tse Ninje, Samuel Gonza Shongan Chamucho, Tenkordo Jeba Rehi, Petensi Miriji Ron, Harsi Chet, Chinze Jacob, Jagara Pabi Yedo, Siden Zenjola, Chivjuru Nogashun, Zenjo to Hyoson Kamatado, Ronri Shinjun Pe Yungi Leden Dusho, Dedin Don Timbe, Sharzon Nonji Tungen Chegin Zejin, Shilo Chitong Goja Trujun Dawa Nimbi Tse Suni, Nencho Doje Dendo, Gonza Shongan Chamuchola, Chosum Chulu to Jebi Mintine, Tenyu Tambir Don Dere, Londor Tsugi Hujin, Nagan Tomojin Belom Hibi Kopso, Ben de Hatara Maimba, Chisi Nindenji, Moti Yunhi Geba Kachir Ten, Jaji Mimogi Ngotop, Mome Wenden Shebi, Timi Henzo Hi Gehi, Hante Chiji Chambo Yene, Timi Redan, Choka Sumne, Timi Sumre J, Cheron Nam, Kun Sosur Shilo Central, Mimog Tredo, Hen Jendon, Jarjel Hasam Denla, Motoji, Yiche Lotem Perwa Jene, Wendenji, Mito, Wedron Tambil Ge, Hekalo Pegongin, Kop Tombi Pememo Shindi Nam, Gonza Shongan Chambon Chone, Shata, Koya Zarden, Shilo Chitong Goja Trujo, Dawa Gobi Tsi Nini, Lekuru Tombi Hibane Zon, Pemi Mozo Tomar Onye, Tegi Gonza Choge, Pemi Trabuji, Desert Gomba Cheyeje, Pemi Region Consultant, Teroje Lejanum Shondamji, Lopchinji Lomden Somo Rimpewo, Zejo Pegyunge Chopsiji Rongin, Rondon, Ranyam, Ronden, Teme Hiwaji Giza Dembe, Yondabi Mozi Lomsor Zombonde, Sote Noye. Teje Shilo Chitong Goja Tuju Reji Loro, Mao Peche Tati Niden Dang, Shilo Chitong Goja Tuju Resun Loro, Peche Tati Yonchop Sadana. Shilo Chitong Goja Goju Koji Loro, Pememo Shindin Henzo Teni, Meden Sumbin Chinzo Henzo Jonon Zebatar, Shiti Kop Chuti Betela Pobi, Tenjo Pemi Chatinla, Shilo Chitong Goja Goju Koji, Dawa Trubi Tenigu Tajinin, Shino Gonza Shongan Chambon Chogin, Chojan Zane, Tenjo Peyun De, Yizin Tin Yebe, Tenropji, Mozin Roludon Timba Hido, Jonon Zejin, Pemi Jinzuji, Leden Nosho Jang, Tresoji, Tembe Noin, Tindika, Yizar Zonte, Tiluji, Onjuri, Mozin Lamlu, Latar, Shagin. Tene Shilo Nidon Tilor, Gonza Shongan Chamuchoke, Kagontar, Kalen Tiba, Mimoge, Tekar, Wedin Lamnen, Dengon Noadang, Shilo Nidon Tujilor, Gonza Shongan Chamuchone, Yunsa Gaden Porongi, Pe Chopsi, Nao Lo Yija Neviri Shombe, Chopsi Jingan, Mimoge, Tekar, Wendenship in Gotis or Talte, Teda Yije Pemi Yonjin, Otopton, Sigi Drubin, Niba Dembahito, Jonon Zede, Moti Lomluto, Hershetan, Page Dembin Topsi, Jinshon, Hudon, Hugimbane, Gapop Yoba Hito Churyo. Gonza Shongan Chamuchoke, Pemin Namla, Moti Lomsoro, Tarhi Jebam, Dindawahi, Shinji Lopatam do Maze, Pe Jacob do Miriji, Ngo, Chodon, Region, Kei Talado Mendo, Sembo Netoba Shonkin, Jana Yungi, Jashino, Nehudon, Teda Lopa Pemichan, Tere Temeji, Jaco Mobi Yondo, Trezo Sone, Peto Pemi Jobshodon, Tinjuru Noa Jene, Jaon Chokin, Zentinto, Kudin Nyaji Chaye, Lemarayon, Pai Daram Salane, Gonza Shongan Chambon Chodan, Pemi Jinzu, Moti Chala Yonson Soan, Dini Chi, Zomlino, Peto Pemir, Tonondo, Jobshor Topadan, Pai Penola, Jindo Senkurchi, Yejen Yamzon Yongi, Rewa Shagin, Jana Marionke, Pemirij Chodon Region, Keiso, Talado Tonga Soji, Sijin Yamba Hyamjon, Sonjo Shajo Parko, Tadon Siji Jenge Jedu do Tomi Yin, Konsanchoke, Peji Canyon Dini, Tremorche Lamne, set up Gebe, Lamden Tang, Delo Junta Mobiri, No Yanao, Jana Yungi Perice, Nawa Meje Padan, Zeno Wodun Zimbi, Pemi Tse, Tonyu Miri Namla, Jindo Sinzereton, Rondu Shesumji Tola, Tambra Huchere Shegimba Tadunyo, Somjo Sheme, Wenjang Yigu Pemi Namji, Miriji Lajan Jurme Tenzun No Yin Yebe, Ronre Shenke Pemi Namla, Senhu Don Nieto, Parma Shegi Hito Churyo, Shilo Nieton Yego Tadu Le, Pemi Jinzuji Sishandang, Pemi Moshiti Niji Vedu Chemo Lela Neve, Teti yu wedu lekon ne huendo tong ngegi wedi tise soji lerin hita rimbe yonjur son wedi no chake genken tenjur peme yone tono to tukur chege nante zo jana yunsho ne tito namba kendo tenjur shizo no chuyi leden perje yatab tendi sidenji lachara mindowa zamne gejo tang tegi kyorchungwa nyoheji choka kyuji kala cherne shizo dalam so ne putu ndatu shegimbara jesu mindowara sosi namche la tenne pemi yarop shezon nyamhen to mason wara wedi digi don galme to ron ki moti kewon lonzo she tubji genkuri gegebe kulma hyojo yin kop chudim be pemi oshindi lenzo je leden nosho don dewe teri hyunde shonwa hine kop chudim be shiti timogi nipa ti to pune tenjo pemi chatin sola titinji sharje so she tumne mochi kawa sumdang ron tenji desen chalan chongye tenjo pemi jinzu je leden nosho jiden gin rotoba shongye ba maze neden mopi to tindri no kasal zotubyo tegi shilo nidon nilor ari jasa Washington don nyajar shinda trubi no nyo jasa Tokyo jesu jashi tezo timi pedon jabshuron chochen ten jeba don goba konso hyubatan shiti namba kyageji shi Jacob Kadu peden hyuki nowa soji jashi to peden la jabshur don chobda jachi shun yela ne jagara yondon ngade sosoro tezo timi sola peden hyukirji lengi rimba peto ba shun teda ki tumde chang mememba tobye peme moshindi lenzo jingenen delor jawi koten sunzi hyuji leri kon teri mozo unyebi nyemodo tin pemi mozin perin to konsa chokin zeban tinle koro tyojen cheli tula kongi churi no parin dendenki teri ne zon nyinsumri kodi hiyebe some jezi yonwa hyujo tang tabar peden la jobshiro nonken ne jakar yomo nyi tang are Europe nyewo yanyon zomli shanu konsar nebe peden jobshiro an somara tuje che hyujo yin 타데 신호 공사 성근 전문초 컴송 현로 군동 하버도 다자 강제만 남진 gembo 담바 고제 협회 까저 템바당 투지 공연 타다 개면 린진 룹진 베덴 된다 뉴도 살와 깨지 men디 휴다 휴주제 베메 모신들 현존의 실로 니동의 그 장아 나와 구비체니라 투체나
kong toche na tene pimi tikzu ki yu rangkong leje ngi la shablo ni senga ribo lyon par sengta chage pigyo de yi tangbo de la logyu ning de re shu chu chi chiri lagong ki rangkong leje chungshön chenyam tenzin rigden la yina chilo nidong lo la letö nerim tu thomar chiri lagong so kosha tha chilo nidong gu lo la dege nerim tu nebar chilo nidong chudu lo la chungle nerim tu nebar chilo nidong ni chaksom lo la 중슈 내림도 네버키 다버 비미틱조 치디 레공소 샵슈 두데 로고니 생아 리부친 여버레 데네 벤조 레공기 랑콩 레제 레데 따시 레토 따시 양좀 라이나 따시 양좀 라 통머 치로 직동 굽갸 굽주 고굴로 다사 메건 벤조 총레 칸도 최대 토라 고샤타 치로 니동 로라 쉔중 체념 내림도 고샤나도 치로 니동 숨로라 쉔중기 포그림도 최대 레공기 뇽예도 랑콩 레제라 고샤나도 데네 치로 니동 구로라 겐중 체념 내림도 네버타 치로 니동 주루로라 레중 체념 내림도 네버 치로 니동 니슈 짜솜로 레토 체념 내림도 네버기 벤조 레공소 네비기 다버 샤블로 니생아 티부친 유버레 샤블로 니생아 리볼르베 생다 차게 대신 벤디 시경 촌에 비유
I now request Honorable Sikyong to present awards to Tenzin Rigden and Tashi Yangzom for completing 25 years of service to the Central Tibetan Administration.
치디 레공기 레제 텐지 릭덴라 데네 벤조 레공기 레제 타시 양좀라 공투시나 데네 군전조 니원 퇴조 투미 쿠샤 와다 유치로 초네 페미마 지들 현존네 딜로 꾸이 고된 송지 단테 잠제로 송지 슈베 레림콩 페미 망조 페림토 진노르 콘스캠교 쳔부초기 제버 틸레 고르기 퍼리 템데 운제낭규.
Next, may I request Mr. Wada Yuchiro to launch the photo exhibition on His Holiness the Dalai Lama's leadership in the evolution of Tibetan democracy in exile, hosted by the Tibetan Parliament in honor of the Year of Compassion.
Number 2了，年上学了，不离针对第一本呢，特定期间你们的了，推荐确认做了看给杨den度课题学要不当期间送的细节，你们你人个的，按做了看给对堂度课题学个热度，马上呢是就嘛你们那了呢。但呢，本地平民嘛，基督操作错呢，技术日积更新 ，PhD 落得前边，不让把古了，不让被切断拉开当来给比较。当不得了，古上怎么了？空气就是的，用中平给西北最普通，我把军队拿西北，先当先中给南下了，冲突些不特别多。我操作说。
I request Honorable Speaker to present awards to honor the 9 PhD candidates. First, we have Kusang Doma with the thesis titled A Critical Analysis of Chitta and Chit in Phön Abhidharma and Abhidharma Samuchaya from Banaras Hindu University. Her friend Tenzi Pendo will receive the award in her place.
데네 체험 핀조라 공기 주시디 전주의 뱀이 망조 람루기 페림 셰바테레도.
Next, Tewang Pinzo with the thesis titled Progress of Exiled Tibetan Democratic System from Delhi University.
데네 스링 초든라기 주시디 벽이 난den기 럽중외 초외 퇴기 냠용 초십 체바 닝제 골라 심주 셰바테레도.
Next, Siring Chodun with a thesis titled Exploring the Lived Experiences of Tibetan Buddhist Monks, a qualitative study on compassion from Delhi University.
데네 겐젠 타볼라기 주시디 샤몽레 중외 안디센스 셰베 제기 누베 골라 셰바테레도.
Next, Gelsen Thakpa with a thesis titled Effect of Antisense Derived from Taiwanofungus camphoratus on SARS-CoV-2, Spike Protein-Induced Metabolic Changes in Macrophages and 3CL Proactivity from National Chungsing University.
데네 륜룹 도제라기 주시디 퓨릭다 치게기 케바츠 베 륜룹게기 짬초기 골라 제주 나워 제십.
Next, Lundrup Doji with a thesis titled Literary Criticism on Thundrup Gyal's Writings, undertaken by the Western and Tibetan scholars from Nava Nalanda Mahavihara.
남가츠링라기 주시테 벼데 갸나기 계신 떠룹 로규마베나 깨르직 체바테레도.
Namka Siring with a thesis titled Reconfiguring Tibet in the Chinese Nationalist Historiography, Changing Narrative of Tibet as Part of China from Jawaharlal Nehru University.
데네 텐지 이실라기 주시디 캡제 벼미 켈레베 켈레기 주슈 강예 동렌타 네법답드 셰바테레도.
Tenzin Ishi with a thesis titled The Entrepreneurial Journey from Refugee Entrepreneurship, Resilience and Embeddedness Issues from University of Bremen. Ishi's mother Dawa Chudrin will receive the award in his place.
데네 tashi gebula kongi jushidi che thongmar bodi ke tu chambe nangpe chudung ringmo shunu dame gi tamgyu mudike tenwala ship tu cheba.
Tashi Gelpo with a thesis titled An Analytical Study on First Ever Buddhist Novel composed in Bodhi language named Shunutame from Central Institute of Buddhist Studies.
데네 타마델라 텐지 드말라 kongi jushidi nyutobla tene goti ki ngön jinda shebateretu.
And we have Tenzin Doma with a thesis titled Leadership Through the Lens of Strength, Portraits of 3 Tibetan School Leaders in India from Obi Jindal Global University.
고토치나 데네 제림 중이 벤데 팀시바 체바 초네 딜르 갸가르 게용 제림 중이기 릭제 숨기 제비 앙림 당보다 니바 숨바 수엠베 로마줄라 간데 포단기 자가 비교.
May I request Honorable Chief Justice Commissioner to present awards and certificates to 10 recipients of this year's Gandhe Potang Award.
규제 대전 공내 앙림 당부 수행배 로마 겹적 구축 공화차 두 련켄 다댕 표김기 로마 땡지 첼라라. Angrim niba gyaja gubju gopshi cha shi lönke masuri pökim ki loma kunga chödarla. Angrim sumba swembe loma ni du niga gyaja gubju goji cha shi lönke masuri pökim ki loma tenji pedön la tha Gopalpur pökim ki loma tashi yangzom la. Tenji pedön la tha tashi yangzom la. Tashi yangzom la. Tene 총rik 대체형 공 angrim 당부 수행배 로마 gyaja gubju gotu cha ge lönke masuri pökim ki loma tenji zoshi la kongi kuza perona. Angrim niba gyaja gubju gopshi cha ni lönke belko pökim ki loma tenji yose la. Angrim sumba gyaja gubju goni cha thuk lönke belko pökim ki loma nima chamjyo la. Tene tserik 대체형 공수 angrim 당부 수행배 로마 gyaja gubju gopshi cha ge lönke selekui pökim ki loma chewang gyanchen la. kongi kuza perona. Angrim niba gyaja gubju goksom cha ni lönke samboda mön god ki loma tenji cheyang la. Angrim sumba gyaja gubju goni cha ge lönke selekui pökim ki loma tenji kunse la. kontusina. Tene pende sikyong choane dilo gyagar gyayong zirim chungni yikyuk tu chokdom chanyom gyaja gubju gonga yen lönbe loma shila chaker ta pyujung chagar lakher zitu re bygyu.
I request Honorable Sikyong to present laptops and certificates to 4 recipients of this year's Excellence Award.
gyaja gubju gotu cha ge lönke masuri pökim ki loma tenji zoshi la. kuzap sherona. gyaja gubju gonga cha thu lönke tateng pökim ki loma tenji chela la. gyaja gubju gonga cha shi lönke kabuk ki Dr. Graham's Homes Lobling ne yimbe loma pema dönla la. Tene Kashak gupchu gonga lönke Rishi Valley loptane yembe loma dumra tenji khechula. Kon tuchina. Tene zerim chupshipa Megan Nilop ne Toshe Keba Sanson Sigbishukyu.
Let us now begin our cultural performances with a dance performance by Tisiri Day School, McLeod.
Tujina. Tene Yongling Loptane, Tapshe Tashi Nimasik Vishugu.
Next, we have a dance performance by Yongling School.
Tene number sola, Tanda Seta Chunju Shuejala, Tanda Gyaurmuchi, Zetin Kolaya, Tada Badu Tempe Sibatana, Tanda Koskam Gyunchembucho, Kagal Namtala ya, Chizu, Chungi the Chegalaya, those Chipyu Nangidu, Tene, Chizu Tambulaya, Ani Zula Kanlaya, Shapso Kena, Shasonza, number two, Chizu Tambo Yen Diola, Ani Zula Harani, Pepsu Shurana Shuayi.
ma sang bola ala ye zamli kun la shi di yo be me lam le sum ya di ta shi ni mo ya la so shi ji len sum yo ve ni mo so ya la so lu shi le da tu shi ta ta so ya la so lu shi le da tu shi ta ta so ya la so ki so la ya lo lung da ta shi ge be ta shi me de shu ti li ta shi ni mo ya la so shi ji len zum yong ve ni mo so ya la so lu shi le da tu shi ta ta so ya la so lu shi le da tu shi ta ta so ya la so ki so la ya lo lung da ta shi ge be ta shi me de shu
Tene sherab gaze lobling ne tapshe phe certain jong sekwishu.
Next, we have another dance performance by Sherab Gatsel Lobling.
Mondo lo ta se di sam dong de be so ta hi yo ta xia ran lo ta se di long ta hi so da go no li long ta hi so da go no me po mondo lo ta se che son di so la so tar shu chi van lo ta chi se so na ta chi so ta hi yo se so na ta chi so ta hi yo tu ta lo sa sa ru po to gon li so ta le te Sasman babe dem dire Tinte sig tabe som Hollande Tinte sig tabe som Hollande Hina tender ya se chote ya que con tu chola so con tu poto yendo y la se chore se poto me fiole mo yo la se choye用这扎土说啦，说扎东中兄这些，一拉下些着里山中兄日头嘞么，用拉下些着耶。yo, ya le ngase ko, yo se ya le con ya. 牛人扎子有小三牛人高的牛嘞，大地上个牛们，大地上个牛们，大地上个牛们。
토체나 디제라 다딩 푀김 롭타네 숭셰 까디 제데 스규슈규.
Next, we have a duet performance by Upper Tibettv School.
tuchina DJ la pyogi dyogar chokwa ne hloka thapshi kyaba sangpo diru top cheba sigbi shugyu.
And we have a dance performance by artist of Tibetan Institute of Performing Arts.
투제나 테네 제림 타마 페미 틱조기 유 고던 고틱 초종기 초조各种 추계 등이 세계 전에 투지 제시 송시에 남겨
I now request Chugye Denyi Tegil, Kashak Secretary and Chairperson of the Central Kudin Organizing Committee, CTA, to deliver the word of thanks.
Pöki mangzu unye de longu tichu renga korwegi zegoyogi chukdum shuya ya entiri zegola shibyu jangbegi kondyogi zo namnyiri taganashi kondyo shen namba eni mangzu nga zo tikzugi pimi tikzugi zezo le to tang le su namba taganashi le jiwa namba lupdu namba Mema Yonglea, any Tandanya San Shuala, Zegoto, the Chipu Jangbegi, Kundu number Zugi, Sungshe, Nangata, Taganashi, Chagasure, Nangatala, Ning Tawane Tuji Shuata, any Lagwatu, Tandate, Chagashinga, number Zulaya, some Shuai, and Tita Chapjilia, Mazutiringite, that's Zegogi. 30 nange nga zo khuti chok chu zor zebe ge endele ya kalop lam de nange zure zo thanda chale nange kule kyenge gi ta leje number zo namsa gyundu ne kule kyön ji je thiring nga zo de je go charoro je chu thuya de en khong number zo gi chale gi nanga de gi deburi dele ya ge mixe chale nange sangmal le ya thuji chi si je shua ta en tene ge thiring nga zo ta mang zo thuji ta tab tyn ta ga na shi ta ku gi khodön gi sungji shue ge lo the ta tab tyn je thiri konda cha jo chukwa la nga zo Kundu number Zulea, Dugalia, Suji de Buddha, Shenasi Guyo, the Delia, Zedu number Zubeg, and Kundu de Jupung, Sangmalolia, Chigunarona, say did the ending Injility Kashi Shuai. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, staff members of Central Tibetan Administration, and students, and members of our community. As we come to the close of this momentous celebration of the Tibetan Democracy Day, it is my great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our chief guests, honored dignitaries, and distinguished speakers who have graced this important occasion with their presence, wisdom, and words of inspiration. A heartfelt thank you goes out to all the award presenters and recipients. Your dedication, commitment, and contribution to the Tibetan community are truly commendable. Congratulations once again on your well-deserved recognition. You inspired us all. To our tireless staff and supporters who have worked behind the scenes to make today's event a success, your efforts often go unseen, but they are never unappreciated. Thank you for your unwavering commitment and hard work. Before we conclude, I would like to warmly invite all the guests to join us this evening for a vibrant culture show, followed by a dinner reception at the Tibetan Institute of Performing Arts, starting at 6. Come and witness the rich cultural heritage of Tibet come alive through music, dance, and storytelling. It promises to be a truly magical and memorable evening, a celebration not just for our democracy, but of our identity and resilience. Once again, thank you all for being part of this special day. Let us continue to walk the path of compassion, unity, and democracy, guided by the wisdom and light of His Holiness. Thank you all once again. Thank you.
공 투제나 다디네 콘스캠 교연 첨부초 임베나 단다 쇼과 딜리네 두 칩된 제차도 송자 제자다 칩베나 콘스캠 교연 첨부초 슈가 게베 포탄라야 추즈 당보스라 두 칩교장난기도 송자 넘버 2 추즈 당보 예연라 두 슈가 게베 포탄기 개고네야 세반티루나 슈에이 디다 다네 다린기 슝제제고 개갱하네 두바이
With this, we successfully conclude the 65th Tibetan Democracy Day celebration. Thank you everyone for joining us.